Now on 4 News Now at 6, a historic Spokane home destroyed to make way for a new business. What will replace the house nestled between two buildings at Sacred Heart Hospital?
A freeze warning is in effect tonight, plus an updated and downgraded Balloons Day forecast.
And a Spokane teacher accused of domestic violence and testing positive for cocaine. So why is she back teaching fourth graders? 4 News Now investigation coming up at 6:30. You're watching 4 News Now at 6. And we begin with breaking news. The northbound lanes of Highway 2 just north of Day Mount Spokane Road are closed because of this crash you're seeing on your screen here. Washington State Patrol says no one was seriously injured. People are being asked to avoid that area.
Well, one of Spokane's historic homes is now just a pile of rubble. For 118 years, Mary's Place, as it's called, stood at the campus of Providence Sacred Heart, built up around it. And the hospital tried to buy it years ago, but Mary Giannettis refused to sell. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kirsten O'Connor.
And I'm Derek Dice. When Mary passed away in 1991, her daughter inherited the house, and it finally went up for sale when she passed away in 2022. Our Allison Martinez explains what will be built in its place.
Right behind me here is all that remains of Mary's Place, a historic building that many Spokane residents knew and loved. All 4 stories of this iconic home were torn down this morning. A historic South Hill home built in 1906 is now nothing but a pile of debris. A historic 4-story home built in 1906 is now nothing but a pile of debris.
It's kind of a bummer, actually. Mary's house is iconic, and it's just been around for so long, obviously.
The property was sought after for several years by Sacred Heart Medical Center, which towers right above it. But the original owner, Mary, refused to sell.
Just so much history being gone is really sad. I mean, think of all the stories and the family members that lived there and all the things that took place is just now a memory.
This morning in the bustling medical district, many people stopped by to watch the iconic house come down and see the landmark one last time.
Everybody's just kind of sad about the change. I mean, it's always hard to close the end of an era and, onto something new, but I wish that we could have somehow kept Mary's house around.
Diamond Parking purchased the iconic home for $4.5 million. The company told us they explored every option for moving the house, but it made no sense in the end. They added that Mary's son, George, gave his blessing. Now the question many people are asking, what's next for Mary's Place? The carriage house to the left of the property is the last piece standing. It will be converted into a rental property for anyone, including traveling nurses at Sacred Heart. The remaining 28,000 square feet will be a public parking lot. If you're hoping to stay connected to the magic of Mary's Place, you can find nods to the beloved home in historic properties around Brown's Addition. Reporting in Spokane, Allison Martinez, 4 News Now.
Well, this is body cam video of one of 2 teenagers being arrested for a drive-by shooting at Chief Gary Park last night. Spokane police say 18-year-old Hunter Simmons and a 17-year-old joined an argument involving other young people at one side of the park. Shots were fired and the 2 drove away. Officers pinned the car. Police then searched the vehicle and found a gun inside. Both teens are now facing drive-by shooting charges. Police say as of now, there are no victims.
Well, here's a live look over downtown Spokane, where a freeze warning is in effect for parts of the inland northwest as temperatures continue to drop. Are we sure it's May 1st? Let's send it over to Chris Crocker to see if it will be a cold trip to the bus stop.
Yes, your plants are asking the same question. Here's a look at that freeze warning, and it's in the area shaded in purple. Now that we'll still see temperatures dropping down below freezing in many areas that are not in that purple area, but the growing season is considered underway now in the Columbia Columbia Basin, Spokane, and Coeur d'Alene. If you do have some plants already in the ground or some pretty hanging baskets, you're going to want to either cover them or bring them inside. Here's a look at some of the low temperatures for Thursday morning. Down below freezing in Deer Park. We'll be right at freezing in Spirit Lake, Fairchild, Cheney, and Spangle. Really 36 and below is when those tender annuals start having problems with those cold nights. 30 in Colville tonight and 32 in St. Mary's, 30 for a morning low down in Moscow and Pullman. Now we're going to warm up nicely tomorrow, especially in the Columbia Basin. We're going to be close to 70 in Omak in the Okanagan, then 67 in Grand Coulee, 67 in Moses Lake, 62 tomorrow in Spokane is exactly average, a little bit cooler with a few more clouds in North Idaho. Here's a look at your Thursday forecast. Sunshine for the first part of the day. In the afternoon, we may see some isolated sprinkles, primarily over the higher terrain, but one or two of those could sneak down into the valleys. A drier day, though, on whole. That is not going to be the case for long. I'll tell you about some wet weather on the way just in time for the weekend in just a few minutes.
Gonzaga now joins a long list of schools where protesters have gathered to demand change. Students demanding the university release its financial investments and divest from any weapons manufacturers involved with the Inland Northwest Consortium, a Gonzaga-led program aiming to bring an aerospace manufacturing tech hub to Spokane. Our Jordan Smith, is in studio to explain why.
Well, Derek, students walked out today pressing for the university to pull out of the Inland Northwest Consortium. They say the partners involved with Gonzaga in that program, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and Raytheon. Students argued that it's time for Gonzaga to cut ties with those companies.
The chants of more than 200 demonstrators echoed across Gonzaga's campus today. Students, faculty, and community members calling for change.
From here, we are asking that the university disclose its investments, divest from weapons manufacturers, and cut ties with companies like Boeing, Raytheon, and Lockheed Martin.
Essentially, students are arguing by partnering with companies which contribute weapons or supplies that further attack Palestine, Gonzaga is complicit in the rising number of people being killed.
We do not think there can be peace while Gonzaga is also investing in bombs and weapons being used to kill thousands and thousands of Palestinians. So.
Kevin Pinkelman, a co-organizer of the demonstration, says they'll continue student-led efforts like today's protest until they force change within the university.
We've made it clear to the university administration that we're not going to stop organizing and we're not going to stop making our voices heard until they disclose their investments and divest from weapons manufacturers.
We asked the university about these investments or if they divest in companies which are in fact contributing to this war. They said, quote, members of our community have asked the investment committee to disclose the investment portfolio and divest from arms manufacturers and Israeli-backed corporations. The administration will share these requests with the university's Board of Trustees and Investment Committee.
Kind of a waiting game to see what happens there. And today's protest comes the day after Mayor Lisa Brown made a push for bringing more aerotech opportunities to Spokane during her State of the City address. Mayor Brown says that it's an industry that would bring more jobs and tremendous opportunity to the city and for local workers. In studio, Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
Thank you, Jordan. Similar protests are being held from coast to coast, with some of them turning violent. Take a look at this video from Virginia Commonwealth University, where you can see police spraying protesters with tear gas. At Columbia University in New York, more than 100 people were arrested last night. The NYPD saying the arrests came after they received a letter from Columbia asking officers to clear out demonstrators from a campus encampment.
At their request, we went in and conducted an operation to allow Columbia University to remove those who have turned the peaceful protest into a place where anti-Semitism and anti-Israeli attitudes were pervasive.
Now, the university said in a statement its decision was made to, quote, restore safety and order to our community. The school said it believed a group of protesters who entered the building were not affiliated with the university.
At UCLA, police were called as clashes between protesters and counter-protesters turned violent.
Not quite sure either as to how it escalated to this degree. It's not something that we obviously have seen yet on campus, but it is definitely violent in ways that previous demonstrations by the counter-protesters weren't.
Students at Tulane University in New Orleans and the University of Wisconsin pushed back when authorities tried to break up encampments on those campuses. More than a dozen protesters at Tulane were arrested. A push to increase the number of police officers in Airway Heights.
How much it'll cost taxpayers if the levy is approved, coming up in just about 30 minutes. Plus,
the FAFSA fiasco of this year has been telling them, don't bother applying for financial aid.
it is crunch time for students trying to figure out how to pay for college next year. What you need to know about financial aid.
And we'll show you who wore this spectacular outfit during Expo 74 and where you can get an up-close and personal look at it next.
We knew at that point it would most likely be a recovery mission.
New details about a fire in Newman Lake that left one person dead. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Plant Farm.
Damn straight. Scotty McCreery is spreading his fresh take throwback country to Coeur d'Alene Casino Thursday, May 2nd. Get your tickets now for one of country music's biggest stars.
Winning is just the beginning. Tonight, the new hostage proposal. Will Hamas accept it as possible military action in Rafah looms? Plus, Florida's 6-week abortion ban takes effect. The fallout. More Americans turn to World News Tonight with David Muir, the most-watched newscast on television.
Stay ahead of your moderate to severe eczema and show off clearer skin and less itch with Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists that helps heal your skin from within. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
Depression and anxiety rob millions of us of our day-to-day lives, but nothing seems to pull you out of it. Introducing Neurostim TMS, Washington's leading provider of transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS therapy. TMS activates the natural function of the brain's neurotransmitters to improve mood and regulate emotion. TMS is not shock therapy. It's an FDA-approved, easy outpatient experience and covered by all major medical insurances. Visit neurostimtms.com or call to schedule your free consultation now.
4 News Now and STCU are teaming up for a one-day Coats for Kids closet cleanout. Gather up your gently used winter jackets and donate them to us all day, Thursday, May 16th. Find a list of locations on KXLY.com.
Tesla's bluesy and soulful sound is still roaring and soaring live at the Coeur d'Alene Casino Thursday, July 25th. Get your tickets now for one of the 80s hottest bands.
Winning is just the beginning.
Next, ET.
It's about time.
We're hitting the Fall Guy red carpet with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. Plus, Kim Raver's Grey's Anatomy sneak peek.
A lot of drama.
Next, ET.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30. KXLY Plus can now also be seen over the air on KXLY ABC4. Live updates, breaking news, weather every 10 minutes from the 4 News Now team. Get up to date on the information you need weekdays at 11 a.m. KXLY ABC4.
Welcome back. These are photos from yesterday's deadly house fire in Newman Lake that left one man dead.
Spokane Valley fire investigators have determined the cause of the fire was accidental. As of now, the victim's identity has not been released. Marissa Rio shares the battle firefighters were up against when they arrived on scene.
We knew at that point it would most likely be a recovery mission.
That's how the Newman Lake fire chief described Tuesday's deadly house fire. Flames so large, a rescue mission wasn't possible. Firefighters were notified of the fire just after 2 p.m. and as crews raced over to the home, plumes of smoke could be seen from the distance. They called for backup almost immediately.
It took about a total of approximately 30 firefighters, several engine companies, and water tenders to suppress this fire.
About 5 minutes into fighting the flames, fire crews were notified that the man who lived in the home was missing. As the home was engulfed in flames, firefighters weren't able to recover his body until hours later.
It was located, from best we could tell, somewhere what appeared to have been the remains of the second floor.
The home now is unrecognizable. Only the chimney remains standing. The rest just ashes and debris that continue to smolder on the ground.
I spoke with someone who lives in this area, and he said when he came down here yesterday, the flames were so large that there were embers even flying over to this area. He said it was absolutely devastating.
A tight-knit community is how a nearby neighbor described Newman Lake, making yesterday's tragedy hit especially hard.
This is really tragic. I mean, at first it was just property damage, and now it's someone passed, so it's really bad. It's going to affect anybody all this summer.
When the fire started, Tom Burgess rode his bike here to see what was happening. Here are his photos of the scene. Burgess said embers were flying through the air, and neighbors were even putting water on their roofs. Fire officials confirmed that the family of the man who died has been notified. Reporting in Newman Lake, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
Terrible story. This evening, we are going to have dry conditions, and it is going to get cool quickly. We'll be in the 40s by 9 o'clock, heading down to overnight lows down around freezing. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Join us for the Medellin Falls Bigfoot Festival, June 15th and 16th.
It's more than a necklace. Celebrate the moment. Tracy Jewelers.
Fleet Feet Spokane is your locally owned resource for all your walking and running needs.
When I was told I had a brain tumor, my life disappeared in a moment. I feared for my future, but even more, I feared for the ones I love. How would they move on without me? But when my doctor told me about the Gamma Knife of Spokane, everything changed. I can get my brain tumor treated in just 1 day and continue living the life I love. Because of Gamma Knife, I have hope.
Every year across the inland Northwest, hundreds of teens age out of foster care but still need support. That's where Safety Net steps in. We started Safety Net to help former foster youth take flight so they won't fall through the cracks.
May 24th to 31st is Sip and Shop for Safety Net. Support North Idaho by purchasing a drink or item at specific Coeur d'Alene local eateries and shops.
For every purchase at participating businesses, Numerica will donate $1 up to $3,500. This is how Numerica cares for kids.
Spokane's hottest music.
Break me so done with you, girl. I've been popping, man, I feel just like a rock star.
Hot 96.9.
Fleet Feet Spokane is your locally owned resource for all your walking and running needs.
It's more than a necklace. Celebrate the moment. Tracy Jewelers.
Well, students from Spokane Community College are getting ready to help you up your gardening game. The annual spring plant sale is just a few days away, and their greenhouse is packed with all kinds of plants. Look how pretty these are. There are house plants, veggies, herbs, perennials, and a lot more. Many SEC gardening students first planted their seeds in January. So the sale's happening this Saturday at Spokane Community College. You can expect prices ranging from $2 to $35. For more information, head to our website, kxly.com.
And of course, you're going to want to buy them and then plant them immediately, but We still got 11 days until Mother's Day.
And we've got some cold weather ahead. We've got a cool down coming, and tonight a freeze warning. You know what else plans like, though? Rain. So keep that in mind as we do this forecast. We have a few isolated showers out again tonight. They're tapering off as our sun sets, and we will see a repeat performance tomorrow to a lesser extent. We get a little bit drier each day this week. Windy conditions around the region, gusts to 29 miles per hour right now in Spokane, 28-mile-per-hour gusts in the valley. We also have gusty winds in Pullman. These winds will be dying down later this evening. Expect a calm night, and that is going to allow those temperatures to drop. We have a freeze warning for tonight. Mostly sunny skies for Thursday, but as we get into late afternoon and early evening, we may start to see those instability showers popping up over the higher terrain. May see a sprinkle at your house, and then we're heading into a cool and wet Bloomsday and a wet weekend. I'll show you that in just a moment. This is the area for which the freeze warning is in effect through 9 o'clock Thursday morning. It does include both Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Cover those plants, or better yet, if you can, if they're in pots or baskets, bring them on into the garage. As I mentioned, they will love the rain coming. Only a 10% chance of measurable rain tomorrow. Really should just see a sprinkle or two. And then we are up into a good chance of rain Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Here's a look at the weather pattern. We've got a front coming through Saturday early morning. Here's 9, 10 a.m., noon Saturday with the rain. Now, this computer model will be updated regularly, so things may change. But right now, I'm going to start it right at Bloomsday starting pistol. You can see some blue in there, some snow in the mountains, and a cold rain over the race. High temperatures tomorrow are going to be back up around average. 62 is our average high, and that's where we're headed tomorrow in Spokane. Even warmer in the Columbia Basin, cooler and a little bit cloudier through North Idaho. 65 and sunny Friday, and then the changes start coming in. Saturday will still be warm, but with showers, and then cool and wet Bloomsday Sunday.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. The 50th anniversary celebration for Expo 74 in Spokane kicks off this weekend.
And we have a sneak peek at a new exhibit to honor the impact the World's Fair had on downtown Spokane.
Please don't do this. I didn't mean to. I'll go home. Please don't.
A 4th grade Spokane teacher under arrest. Find out why, plus why this is just part of the investigation.
He did this. Can I ask you something?
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Have you worked or enjoyed the outdoors in Lincoln County before 2014? You may have been exposed to harmful Libby amphibole asbestos. Get your free asbestos health screening today. Don't wait. Early detection is key. Contact the Card Clinic at libbyasbestos.org.
When your backyard is bursting with color and beauty, you're feeling more than pride. You've got the power of the flower from the Plant Farm. The power of the flower gives you creativity, inspiration, energy, and so much more. With the helping hand of the Plant Farm, life excites and your talent knows no boundaries. Bring home the power of the flower from the Plant Farm today, because life is better in the garden.
Don't miss the anniversary celebration at Quality Stoves and Spas. The largest selection of fireplaces, inserts, and stoves at tremendous savings.
Featuring low pie and fireplace extraordinaire.
End Saturday at Quality Stoves and Spas in Post Falls.
This week, GMA Live in 5 mystery cities.
So, where will GMA pop up?
Maybe we'll be in your neighborhood.
Where will we be?
We're coming to you, America. Get ready.
All this week, where will we be?
Get ready. Get ready. Get ready.
I think I'm gonna go with a 9-iron.
I'd suggest a 7.
No.
Oh. Did you know that if a bird picks up your ball, you gotta follow it? Oh, there it is. I think it's to the right.
Nah.
Is this it?
Nope, not it.
More! Can I be frank? At STCU, we're always here to advise and consult, even if you want to go at it your own way.
Let's see what you've got, Frank. I think we should talk.
STCU Business. Partner up.
So what do you think about these?
Yeah, we're going to take...
From design and products to removal and installation, we handle the entire process to create a beautiful and functional bathroom for whatever your life needs. Rebath, with you every step of the way. relocate, renovate. As your needs change, update your bathroom with aging and accessibility solutions designed to keep the space safe and stylish. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,500 off your complete bathroom remodel.
KXLY Plus can now also be seen over the air on KXLY ABC4. Live updates, breaking news, weather every 10 minutes from the 4 News Now team. Get up to date on the information you need weekdays at 11 a.m. KXLY ABC4.
PAR, family owned since 1930. Go where the builders go.
What are you going to build?
Around the nation, today is normally college decision day, but issues with this year's federal student loan application have millions of students waiting to hear how much college will cost them in the fall.
This has some students and experts worried. CNN's Karen Caifa explains what students and families need to know.
May 1st typically closes out the college application process.
They've made the decision about the best college for them, and the hard part is done.
But because of the delayed rollout of the new streamlined free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA, many schools did not receive student data from the Department of Education until March. Once they did, millions of forms were found to have errors, delaying financial aid offers and student decisions. Even the White House acknowledging the impact.
We have said, yes, the process has not gone smoothly, and we're doing everything that we can to make it go smoother.
Jill Dejean of the National Association of Student Financial Aid Administrators says there are concerns that first-generation and low-income students in particular have been too frustrated to finish the FAFSA process.
The FAFSA fiasco of this year has been telling them, don't bother applying for financial aid. It's too hard. The system's broken. We really need to start countering that narrative.
The National College Attainment Network says FAFSA completions are down 29% compared to last year's class at the same point in time. Pressed by lawmakers on Tuesday, Education Secretary Miguel Cardona said the department wants to get the word out that students still have time.
We're doing everything in our power to make sure we're providing more opportunities for students to fill out the better FAFSA.
The streamlined FAFSA cut its questions from a maximum of 108 questions to as few as 18. In Washington, I'm Karen Caifa.
President Biden plans to cancel $6.1 billion in student debt for borrowers misled by the Art Institutes. The White House says this benefits 317,000 people who previously attended the schools. The Department of Education found the Art Institutes misled prospective students about graduates' job placement rates and average salaries. The network of for-profit art schools closed permanently in September of 2023, and so far a total of nearly $160 billion in student loan debt has been canceled under Biden for nearly 4.6 million borrowers. Well, Spokane Public Schools now confirming to 4 News Now that Wilson Elementary Principal Christine Admire has resigned. The resignation comes after a weekly newsletter had some parents, students, and community members upset in March. It featured a music event that asked parents to dress students up as slaves and hobos. It was written by a music teacher, not the principal. Admire released a statement to parents last month saying in part, "Over the past few months, my family and I have been navigating challenges that have placed us under considerable strain."
Well, the results are in, and no bird flu has been found in the U.S. milk supply. That's according to the FDA. The agency says it tested products from over 300 stores and found no active strain of the virus. In an earlier test of 96 samples, roughly 20% of remnants or had remnants of bird flu in them. FDA officials are also looking at samples of raw and cooked ground beef. This comes following a bird flu outbreak, which has affected dozens of dairy cows in 9 states, including Idaho. A Spokane teacher accused of domestic violence and cocaine use.
Why she's being allowed to continue teaching 4th graders after the break in a special report. And the number of emergency calls in Airway Heights have more than doubled over the last 5 years. How many police officers the department says it needs to keep up with demand. Next on 4 News Now at 6:30. Stay with us.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Damn straight.
Scotty McCreery is spreading his fresh take throwback country to Coeur d'Alene Casino Thursday, May 2nd. Get your tickets now for one of country music's biggest stars.
Winning is just the beginning.
My name is Megan, and I've been a member of Canopy Credit Union since I was 4. with Canopy, they have a whole team who's there to help guide you if you have questions. That's huge. It's so nice to know that you can get an answer to your questions. I have never had an issue that wasn't able to be resolved in a super friendly, helpful manner. It's so wonderful. I honestly don't think I'd ever leave.
At Liberty Park, we've been growing our own since 1928, and we continue to be your go-to greenhouse for all your gardening needs, including custom container planting. We have a colorful selection of annuals, perennials, and hanging baskets. With several varieties of tomatoes and other veggie starts, we have all you need to kick off your vegetable garden. We also carry yard art, soil, and pots of all sizes and colors. Liberty Park Greenhouse and Garden Center is now open in the historic South Perry District.
Today, tonight, and tomorrow, Cal Cars is kicking off the month with a 72-hour sale at both Cal locations, where they are marking down over 72 trucks, cars, and SUVs to sell fast, plus delaying all payments until August 1st. And $0 down is all you need. This is your chance to save thousands and trade your old vehicle in for something better with a complimentary 2-year service maintenance plan included. But it's only today through this Sunday at Cal.
Tesla's bluesy and soulful sound is still roaring and soaring live at the Coeur d'Alene Casino Thursday, July 25th. Get your tickets now for one of the 80s hottest bands.
Winning is just the beginning.
Facelifts for men. Next in Sun Edition. This dad doesn't want to look like an old guy anymore.
I really want to look like I'm their father and not their grandfather.
So he's spending $100,000 on a facelift.
Here, we're going to lift everything back up.
Will he really turn back the hands of time? Then, what role does this mystery woman have in the student rebellion across the USA? Next in Sun Edition.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7. Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Welcome back. When you send your kids off to school, you trust they'll be in safe, responsible hands until they come home.
But some 4th grade parents at a Spokane elementary school began to question that trust when their child's teacher was arrested, tested positive for illegal drugs, and let back in the classroom.
So the parents came to us with their concerns, wondering how this was allowed. Our Natalie Grant investigates.
Casey Miller has been with Spokane Public Schools for the last 13 years. A 4th grade teacher here at Brown Elementary. She was placed on paid administrative leave days before the start of this school year, leaving students and families confused and concerned.
This body camera footage is from August 30th, 2023. It's the first arrest in 24 hours for elementary school teacher Casey Miller.
Please don't do this. I didn't mean to. I'll go home, please.
Less than 1 week before the first day of school. Miller is being arrested for an alleged assault during a fight with her boyfriend. The next day, she's arrested again for violating a no-contact order put in place by her boyfriend after her first arrest.
Multiple times to back up.
You are under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney.
This is when concerns started for the parents of students slated to be in Miller's class. They heard Miller had been arrested and confirmed it for themselves.
She's been my son's teacher for the past 2 school years, for the most part. Through looking at jail rosters and the grapevine of the world, we found out she was tested dirty for a drug test, and then she was in jail when I checked the roster.
At this point, an investigation into Miller is already underway by Spokane Public Schools. We got a copy of that investigation report through a public records request. According to the report, on the morning of her first arrest, Miller was placed on paid administrative leave by the school district after testing positive for cocaine.
I 100% thought she wasn't going to come back.
It was her adult daughter who warned the school, saying in an email, "I don't know what else to do to help her. I am very concerned that she gets to teach children daily." When confronted, Miller denied it, but this test proved otherwise, showing cocaine was in her system. Miller eventually admitted to using cocaine the weekend before at a concert, claiming it was her first and only time. This report shows interviews with Miller's colleagues who say they noticed a change in her behavior over the last 2 to 3 years. Things like jittery movements, excessive tardiness, fighting, asking colleagues for large amounts of money, even telling them about drug use. On October 16th, Miller does a lengthy interview with the district, addressing allegations. Throughout this interview, she denies having a substance use problem. When the district asks why she should stay employed, Miller said, "I have had a couple of hard years. I have started reflecting and making positive changes. I am doing the right things." The district keeps her on paid leave while they finish the investigation. On November 7th, 2 months after Miller was put on leave, she takes another drug test. She once again tests positive for cocaine, but Miller wasn't fired. After a conversation between the district and Miller's union representative, she is given this last chance agreement. It says she can be randomly tested for drugs at school for the next 5 years. If she tests positive or refuses the test, the district would have just and sufficient cause to fire her. That ultimatum seemed to work, and after 2 negative tests, Miller was brought back to the classroom at the end of January. Her return surprised parents.
And I don't understand how this wasn't a breaking point for the district.
It's extremely concerning as a parent. I feel like I should know if someone who is using illegal drugs is with my student.
Do you feel like your child's education has been compromised in this situation?
100%.
These moms asked to hide their identities. They are frustrated with what they call a lack of transparency from the district and concerned for their children's safety and the quality of education with Miller back in the classroom.
I thought that the district backed us as parents and students and would keep our kids safe.
My student hates school. He begs me to stay home every day. He is just so unhappy, and it's just really hard to see as a parent.
Every parent asking, why was she allowed back?
I would like to see her removed from the school because of that safety concern, and moving forward as well, setting that precedent so people know that this is not acceptable, that if they do this, they will not be allowed in the school teaching children.
According to the Spokane Public Schools Drug-Free Schools Community and Workplace Policy, using illegal drugs in or out of the workplace is not tolerated, and an employee could be disciplined or terminated for it. We asked for clarification from the district on what would be a fireable offense when it comes to drug use by their staff. Despite already releasing the full investigative report to us, Spokane Public Schools responded by saying, quote, SPS is not able to discuss employee matters. In the investigation, Miller repeatedly denied ever doing drugs at school or coming to school under the influence. The investigation says there's no evidence to prove she did.
Well, right now, Miller is back in the classroom teaching. We have reached out to her several times via email and phone to see if she'd like to address these concerns and share her story, but we haven't heard back. According to court documents, Miller is required to complete 1 year of substance use treatment in order for her 4th-degree assault and protection order violation to be dismissed. However, she did not complete treatment for the month of March and has been ordered back to court on May 31st. Reporting in Spokane, Natalie Grant, 4 News Now.
And I think as parents, we can understand the concern by all those parents of her students.
Certainly, and we all know the teachers that are spending a whole year with our kids. You know, you get to know them, you talk to them, but you don't necessarily know everything that's going on behind closed doors.
Well, we contacted SPS several weeks ago asking general questions about district policy regarding teacher conduct. At the time, the district told us they wouldn't comment on employee matters.
But after a promotion for this story began airing, SPS sent another statement that reads in part, quote, in this case, the employee has met all the required expectations under their agreement to return to work. SPS will continue to ensure this employee complies with the terms of the agreement, and the district will continue to meet with families who want to share their concerns. And if you missed it during Natalie's special report, you can view some of the documents mentioned. Just take out your phone now, open the camera app, and scan that QR code on your screen. You can also find this full story right now on KXLY.com.
Okay, let's send it over to Chris Crocker now with a look at that First Alert forecast. Chris.
Well, the skies are clearing right now. A live look over downtown Spokane, the Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena, the Spokane County Courthouse, and those clear skies are going to lead to a cold night. We have a freeze warning in effect for the area. Now, it's for the area shaded in purple, but if you live outside that area, you may still have a freeze tonight. This is the area where the growing season is underway, but down on the Palouse, you too are going to be getting down below freezing and up around Sandpoint, Colville. So if you have some pretty hanging baskets or planters already set to go, might want to either bring them inside or cover them. Here's a look at some of the forecast lows around the region. Down below freezing in Deer Park and right around freezing for much of the rest of the area. Some of those petunias and pansies and other pretty spring flowers really suffer if it's about 36 or under. Meanwhile, around the region, 30 in Colville, 30 in Pullman, and 32 degrees in St. Mary's, 32 also in Ritzville. Now we're going to warm up nicely tomorrow under mostly sunny skies, 62 in Spokane and 67 in Moses Lake. Expect plenty of sunshine with just a slight chance of some sprinkles in the afternoon. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast plus Wildlife Wednesday. The bears are waking up. There's a tease. I'll be back. Kirsten?
Thank you, Chris. The man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students will be back in court tomorrow. Attorneys for Bryan Kohberger will ask the judge not to close an upcoming hearing. In that hearing, they will ask the judge to force the state to hand over certain evidence. Prosecutors argue some of it has already been sealed. The state also saying both sides could be damaged if that information was made public. The hearing is set to begin at 10 a.m. You can stream it on your connected TV using the KXLY Plus app.
Well, just in time for the 50th anniversary celebration of Expo 74, the Northwest Museum of Arts and Culture has a new Expo exhibit opening this Saturday. The MAC went through 246 boxes of archival materials for the exhibit, including photos, newspaper clippings, and old KXLY film footage. Inside the exhibit, you'll see things like one of the original gondolas from Expo 74, a miniature garbage goat, and a whole lot more.
We also have one of the costumes that Liberace wore during his performances over the 4th of July. And, you know, Liberace was known for his ostentatious, over-the-top kind of personality. And to kind of see that here and have that here is just really cool.
The Expo exhibit runs through January of 2025.
Expo 74 would not have been possible without the cooperation of railroads who agreed to remove tracks and donate land. And that's why the Inland Northwest Rail Museum in Reardon is also celebrating the anniversary. Visit it and learn about the many ways our regional railroads helped make Spokane the little city that could, starting this Saturday to the 4th of July.
We also want to remind you that starting on Friday, you can ride on a Spokane transit bus for only 50 cents on weekdays and for free on weekends in honor of Expo 74. And you can take advantage of those while you check in for Bloomsday this Friday and Saturday at the Spokane Convention Center. Well, $25 a month. That's how much the Airway Heights Police Department is asking the average homeowner for to improve public safety.
Police say with older vehicles and not enough officers to fight rising crime rates, this levy is a necessity to keep the city safe. However, many homeowners are concerned about having to pay even more than what they already do. Bronte Saratsky explains.
If you were to call the Airway Heights Police Department on a busy night about something like theft or vandalism, odds are your call will go unanswered. It's why the police department is hoping that this levy passes. With deteriorating police cars and lack of officers, the Airway Heights Police Department is struggling to keep up.
Our calls for service have risen over 133% in the last 5 years.
One of the biggest issues the police department and most of the country are facing right now is the fentanyl crisis.
Of our families we're losing children and family members to the addiction of fentanyl and to the overdoses. We have overdoses that we deal with every day on our streets.
And not enough officers to track down where that fentanyl fentanyl is coming from.
We want to go after them aggressively to fight the bring these lethal doses of drugs into our community.
The average cost of an officer along with a police car costs around $200,000, and the Airway Heights Police Department currently needs 4 to keep up with rising calls for help.
We need these extra officers to have more boots on the ground to help facilitate public safety services.
While they are now resorting to a tax measure, this was the police department's last option.
We've heavily invested in an aggressive grant management program to try to facilitate extra services through grants, but grants can't do it alone.
If passed, this levy would cost $8.3 million over the next 6 years. Reporting in Airway Heights, Bronte Sorotsky, 4 News Now.
Hey, a new sport could be coming to Washington over the next week.
Yeah, the WIAA is considering adding girls flag football as a sanctioned high school sport. Super cool.
I love it.
Yeah, the Seattle Seahawks have also been at the forefront of this movement. What the guys had to say about the upcoming vote next in sports.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Jacobs Custom Living.
With Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, you can instantly know what you spend on things like food.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries this month?
Hey, Dad, can the guys stay for dinner? No. Want faster, easier banking? You can with Wells Fargo.
Depression and anxiety rob millions of us of our day-to-day lives, but nothing seems to pull you out of it. Introducing NeuroStim TMS, Washington's leading provider of transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS therapy. TMS activates the natural function of the brain's neurotransmitters to improve mood and regulate emotion. TMS is not shock therapy. It's an FDA-approved, easy outpatient experience and covered by all major medical insurances. Visit neurostimtms.com or call to schedule your free consultation now.
Dupixent helps people with asthma breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. And when you can breathe better, what isn't better? This is better. This is better. That's better. And that. Even this. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. It works with your asthma medicine to help improve lung function. That's pretty good. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's proven to help prevent asthma attacks. It can reduce or even eliminate oral steroids. And doesn't that make things better? Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Tell your doctor right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change your stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. When you can get more out of your lungs, you can do more with less asthma. And isn't that better? Ask your doctor about Dupixent, the most prescribed biologic in asthma.
Thanks, Road Warrior.
We get it. It's hard to say goodbye to your car. AutoNation will make it easy. We'll buy your car for top dollar. And with over 25,000 used vehicles available, AutoNation can help you say hello to your next car.
4 News Now anchors, not just in the newsroom, but in the community, doing the work, listening to you, asking questions to help keep your family safe. We're the people you trust on your screens and in your neighborhood. And we'll always be there on 4 News Now.
With Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, you can pick up the tab even when you forget your wallet. I got this.
Fargo, send Kaz $145 with Zelle.
Smooth. Do you, Fargo? You can with Wells Fargo.
All right, we're back with an update on breaking news. Within the last few minutes, the northbound lanes of Highway 2, just north of Daymount Spokane Road, have reopened. They were closed for this crash, and they were closed for about an hour. Washington State Patrol says no one was seriously injured.
Today is the deadline for college basketball players to enter the transfer portal, and another Gonzaga Bulldog has been added to the list.
According to Field of 58, freshman guard Luka Krajinovic will be looking for a new home next season. Sports director Julian Minnesone joins us. So, Julian, were you surprised by this one at all?
Not entirely. Krajinovic only played about 8 minutes a game, and with most of the roster returning, his playing time was most likely going to be limited next season. Gonzaga is also expecting Steele Venters to return from injury, and Pepperdine transfer Michael Ajayi to play big minutes. Krajinovic missed a chunk of the season after breaking his hand in December. He also didn't travel with the team for their Sweet 16 matchup with Purdue because of a non-COVID related illness. Kranovich averaged nearly 2 points a game in just 16 appearances this past season. He is the third Gonzaga player to transfer over the last few weeks, joining forwards Pavle Stosic and Colby Brooks. As it stands now, Anton Watson is the only player Gonzaga is losing who played significant minutes last season. High school girls in Washington could have a new sport to play. Starting today through May 10th, the WIAA is voting on whether to add girls flag football as a sanctioned sport. If passed, it would be the first newly sanctioned sport in 6 years for Washington State. There has been a lot of support for the cause, including from the Seattle Seahawks. During the NFL draft, Seahawks star receiver Tyler Lockett spoke out in favor of passing the vote, surrounded by some girls flag football players. The Seahawks have been at the forefront of advocating for the sport, contributing to grants for schools across the state to start girls flag football programs.
And I think it's just like a really cool opportunity, but I also do think that it should be a sport because as you look at even what's happening in the Pro Bowl with flag football becoming a thing, and I think that it is going to continue to be something that's going to be really big down the line, and I think it's a way that women can be able to be a part of football and play football and stuff like that. And, like, we're going to win a championship out here.
Strong words from Mr. Lockett. If passed, Washington would be the 12th state to sanction girls flag football. A week that could have been a disaster has turned into the best week of the season for the Seattle Mariners so far. Seattle was one win away from sweeping the best team in baseball, the Atlanta Braves. Now, Seattle's had the best pitching staff in baseball over the last 3 weeks. Emerson Hancock got the call today, but he ran into some trouble in the 4th inning. Runners on base for Austin Riley, who puts a jolt into it. Mitch Haniger gives chase, but crashes into the wall. That scores a run as Riley picks up a triple and Seattle trails 4-0. We take another look at this one right here. Tough play. It was just out of the reach for Haniger in the outfield, and it pretty much cost Seattle some early runs there in the 4th inning. Now, Mariners, they're going to be trying to climb back here in the 7th. Jorge Polanco actually did a lot of the heavy lifting on offense today for Seattle, and he comes through again right here. That scores a run off the base hit. Seattle cuts it to a 5-2 ball game as Rodriguez comes across the plate. Now to the 9th, Seattle with a pair of runners on base. Cal Raleigh at the plate. A home run would tie it. See if he could be the hero. Unfortunately, grounds out right to the pitcher. Tough way they end it. Mariners fall 5-2, but they win the series and take 2 out of 3 against Atlanta. Seattle will now take on the Houston Astros for a road series, 3-game series, starting on Friday. Seattle's won their last 5 series now, still in first place, so even the loss today stings a little bit, but you won the series, you won the war there.
Yeah, what a turnaround it's been since early in the season. So
I keep seeing people all of a sudden going to Seattle Mariners games. What's going on? New fans. We'll be right back.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
So what do you think about these?
We're going to take everything.
From design and products to removal and installation, Rebath is with you through every step of your remodel. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,500 off your complete bathroom remodel.
It all starts with a Chevy truck. Chevy Silverado with the TurboMax engine and best-in-class standard torque. And Chevy Silverado HD with up to 14 available camera views. Do more in a Chevy truck. Get yours now. Get $5,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. That's 10% below MSRP. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Don't miss the anniversary celebration at Quality Stoves and Spas. Create a spectacular outdoor oasis with Quality's large selection of outdoor furnishings, hot tubs, and swim spas at tremendous savings. In Saturday at Quality Stoves and Spas in Post Fall.
Spokane and North Idaho's country leader.
Drinking watermelon moonshine.
Oh, Lord, when it rains, it pours. The big 99.9 Coyote Country.
It's Live's halfway to Halloween. The best skits.
Gelman, all that yoga's really paying off.
Behind the scenes bloopers and never before seen costumes.
Watch Live tomorrow at 9, right after GMA.
4 News Now and STCU are teaming up for a one-day Coats for Kids closet cleanout. Gather up your gently used winter jackets and donate them to us all day, Thursday, May 16th. Find a list of locations on KXLY.com.
Hi, I'm Doug Trudeau with Trudeau's Marina. Summer's just around the corner. It's time to get out on the water.
We have the most popular boats in industry, premium crafted Sea Ray boats, family fun Bayliner boats, including the Element Series, VR Series, and DX Series boats. Heyday surf boats, great way to get on the water and go surfing. Crestliner fishing boats, and new this year, Princecraft pontoons. So if you're in the market for a boat, come in and see us at Trudeau's Marina in downtown Spokane.
So what do you think about these?
We're going to take everything.
From design and products to removal and installation, Rebath is with you through every step of your remodel. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,500 off your complete bathroom remodel.
4 News Now is brought to you by Walker's Furniture.
Wildlife Wednesday time, and I'm always so exciting when we get the first bear of the season. Mark Boat captured this image today. I love the reflection on the water there. Mark says he watched this bear for a while and he's still sleepy and he's kind of hungry, looking for something to eat. Half awake, I think Mark said. Great picture, Mark. Another sign of spring. Susie Corperi shared this photo of some adorable goslings in Post Falls, Canada goslings. Very, very cute. Marty Stowe captured this striking image of a rufous hummingbird with the evening sun reflecting off those amazing feathers around his pretty face. And Courtney Litwin stare down with an osprey who's got a very large meal in his talons. An amazing photo there, Courtney. Thank you so much for sharing that. Few isolated showers still in progress in North Idaho. We may have a sprinkle or two tomorrow as well, but most of the wet weather is going to hold off until the weekend. We have a front coming through Saturday with a chance of rain as early as Saturday morning, and that is going to continue off and on throughout the day. We may get some breaks, particularly Saturday night, but right now, here's the start of Bloomsday. A very good chance of a chilly rain on Sunday morning. Tonight, we have a freeze warning in effect for the area. We do have some warmer nights ahead, but with some cooler weather coming next week, we'll be watching those overnight lows very closely regardless, and that wet weather is going to continue through the early part of next week. Looks like we could get some good beneficial rains on the way, which is something we need, Kirsten.
Definitely. Thank you, Chris. And here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Unleash the beast in the ultimate giveaway at Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. Earn entries now through June 28th for your chance to win a new Ford Bronco Raptor. Only at Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. You just win here.
Today, tonight, and tomorrow, Cal Cars is kicking off the month with a 72-hour sale at both Cal locations, where they are marking down over 72 trucks, cars, and SUVs to sell fast, plus delaying all payments until August 1st. And $0 down is all you need. This is your chance to save thousands and trade your old vehicle in for something better with a complimentary 2-year service maintenance plan included. But it's only today through this Sunday at Cal.
With local utility rebates and massive tax credits available, it's now possible to upgrade to a heat pump for less than a traditional air conditioner. Heat pumps are far more efficient than air conditioners when it comes to heating and cooling your home. Get year-round comfort with higher efficiency, all while lowering your monthly utility bills. So don't be fooled into buying outdated air conditioning technology. Upgrade to a heat pump, the smart choice for smart homeowners. Call Bill's Heating and AC today for your free estimate.
There's a good feeling we get when we show up for others, whether it's a family member, a neighbor, or a local nonprofit we care about. And it's not just about good feels. Volunteering or donating money to support nonprofit organizations helps everyone in the community. When you give what you can, great things happen for everyone. That's what Give Big is all about. On May 7th to 8th, visit wagives.org to discover and donate to nonprofits that are making good things happen in your community and around our state.
You're feeding it.
I will, I promise. Thanks to our Premier Rewards Visa credit card from ICCU, we earned enough cash back to stock up on puppy supplies.
But we don't have a puppy.
convincing children.
Elevate your game at Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. Our expanded gaming floor now features over 900 of your favorite slots, plus all new table games. Only at Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. You just win here.
Par, family owned since 1930. Go where the builders go.
What are you going to build?
We have a nice day tomorrow, but it's going to be a cold start, maybe an isolated sprinkle. I don't think you'll notice.
No.
No?
No.
We've gotten used to him by now.
Everyone's too focused on that frost.
Yeah.
See you at 11.